All right, good morning, you guys. Time for your health check. A nationwide flavored e-cig ban goes into effect today after months of discussion and debate. The ban is going to affect kid-friendly flavors like mint and those fruity ones, but will exempt menthol and tobacco flavors. The overarching goal of the ban is to reduce youth vaping, which has been flagged, as you know, as an epidemic at this point. Look, this is one of the things new moms worry about the most when returning to work. How am I going to keep up my breastfeeding? Well, in a new survey in workplace health and safety, nearly 79% say they have a private space at work to express milk. About 2/3 have break time to breastfeed, but lactation consultants and breast pumps were less common. In fact, only 8% of workplaces offer lactation resources. The conclusion here, employers really do need to step it up and make it easier for women to work and raise young children. Okay. Okay, who remembers that annoying old school alarm clock, right? Well, how your morning alarm is set actually can kind of twist and turn your day, right? So could it be your favorite song or a blaring beep? Yeah, it does set the tone for what's to come. A new study out of Australia suggests if we don't wake up properly, it can actually affect how sharp we feel, how efficiently we go about our day. For instance, those who wake up to music or pleasant sounds report feeling more alert. Those who have alarms with harsher sounds feel groggier, and work performance, believe it or not, can actually be degraded for up to 4 hours. I just have to say, my friend Rishi, who just moved to Dallas from Houston, texted me and said, "So rude, you interrupting the traffic lady." So Tashara, you have a new fan.
You know, I did
My friends are switching teams.
What was it, like a product test once on one of those alarm clocks that slowly get lighter and the birds chirp?
Yeah.
So it's supposed to wake you up more slowly so you feel better. I don't know that it worked. I didn't keep it, but it was interesting.
I like those. And I mean, you know, you all heard the chimes that I use. I like those too.
Well, I find this especially interesting because I know when I first started the shift, I would come to work some days and I was just in a fog and a haze. And now I'm wondering if it's because I didn't have the right alarm sound to wake me up.
Test it
Gotta
out.
get on that.
Great. Now Mark's not going to wake up. He's going to be like the birds
I said
chirping.
it to the birds
That's
chirping.
No, he's
nice.
gotta
I had a dream I was in Pandora.
On this shift, you have how many alarms set? 3,
4.
Yeah.
And a safety.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Whoa.
He'll get here. Let's go over to Greg and talk about